Hello, this is Not a Spring Chick, and today, July 1st, starts the day of the new hands-free law here in California, Washington, and many other states. Oh, actually, some of them already have it. So, it may be a matter of life and death for some. This is by a company called Life and Death. There's a scarf. But no matter what, it's the law now. So put on your earpieces. Use your Velcro. It's hands-free in the car. You can dock it on your cell phone. So let's bring Oldecam on. Some comments on the headlines of today. A lot of times with Oldecam, we start with, well, a piece of paper, a couple pieces of paper with all the headlines already written. But today, we're doing it once again off the newspaper. I have written 4 things down, but the rest is all coming from the newspaper. So these headlines are all from the LA Times, which, as many of you across the country know, tends to be perhaps a little on the left side. Anyway, but we're using the LA Times today for comments on the headlines of today. Actors strike, the pause before the hammer.
Basically, they're going to strike. It doesn't make any difference what the president is saying, that it's a distraction, because they've already once again said that while it was interesting what they heard, there was nothing in it that they really were excited about.
Now, this is the Screen Actors Guild, not the...
No, they basically, AFTRA is more than likely going to accept it, but if they do, there's going to be like a bloodbath between the two unions.
Clark says he was misunderstood.
Oh yeah, the press just simply misinterpreted what he had to say about McCain, and that this was not Mr. Obama's position, which means Clark is now on the outs with Obama.
Flags planted by realtors herald in the 4th of July.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it's like in the rest of the country where they do that, but here you might notice that there's an awful lot of flags missing from Latinos' front yards and Muslims' front yards. I wonder what that means.
Yeah, I think somebody took them down. Obama to fund faith-based program.
Yeah, and we know which churches are going to get the funding, don't we? The Reverend Wright is going to be back in business, just like he said about Mr. Obama.
What did he say?
He said that he's just saying this to get elected, and when the election's over, he'll be back.
Phone Rangers rule enforcement will vary.
Yeah, basically, if I've seen them already today with the earphone. You know, police driving by with people talking on cell phones. You know, it depends upon how much the community needs money as to whether the law is going to be enforced or not.
Well, and there's not as many police out, are there?
Well, they're trying to do more walking than they were before because of gas prices.
Death Row report sees failed system. $138 million the Mountain State spends per year on the death penalty.
Well, that's because of all of the legal challenges. But the problem comes with the fact is if, you know, nobody cares about the victims of the crime. It's all about the poor guy that's the criminal. I mean, at least they're being punished if they're on death row. If you put them back in a cell system, there's no such thing as life without prison. That just doesn't done anymore.
So somebody that's in there for for life imprisonment, they don't stay in prison for life.
No, they said average 3 years.
McCain energy record is on and off.
Well, he's a politician.
It says he's flip-flopped on nuclear power, ethanol, and offshore drilling.
Well, he's trying to get elected.
China plays hardball on pre-games visas.
Well, yeah, we couldn't get one. You know, I mean, they wouldn't even talk to us about. We have Olympic press credentials, and the Chinese government wouldn't even talk to us about it.
I know. Well, it sounds like there won't be very many people there.
Well, because they want the people they know are going to give them the best press.
Oh, we're just talking about regular visitors.
That's right.
Keeping the ball in play. In a dim Vegas arcade, a man's love for a faded pastime is alive and keen. Behold the Pinball Hall of Fame.
Yeah. You know, pinballs are on their way out. That's an unfortunate thing because the games they used to put on computers are so small now you can't even see them play.
Oh yeah, that's what's computers. See, here's the part. Is that Oldecam gets to sit there and respond, and like this is all impromptu. I am looking through the newspaper trying to figure things out.
Right.
Buns and guns. This is from the blogs. Killer burgers in Beirut. The chef wears a helmet at the war-themed restaurant, which is a product of its environment.
Yeah, I mean, okay, you don't want to be a Christian in Lebanon.
Customers sit behind sandbags at Buns and Guns where the menus are shaped like bullets.
Yeah, that's got to be a, you know, that says it right there, you know.
U.S. calls for sanctions on Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
UN diplomats hope African leaders will take action, making the Security Council move unnecessary.
And he got cheered by the African leaders this morning. They're not going to do a single thing because they held him as a hero for teaching Whitey a lesson.
Iraq oil contracts. Iraq announces it started bidding by foreign companies for contracts to boost the production of 8 oil and gas fields.
And none of that petroleum is going to go to anybody. And, you know, again, like, well, we're not going to get it. Canada's not going to get it. England's not going to get it. Germany won't get it. There's countries that are favorable towards Muslims will get them.
They're still winning the papers flying away.
I know. She needs to have the camera the opposite direction. She's trying to
What? Pumped about drilling. The oil town of Taft is still struggling, but rising prices fuel new hope.
Oh God, I mean, when I was, okay, I'm old, but they used to sit there, they would cap off wells because the technology wasn't there to get the oil from the deeper levels. The technology there is there now to reopen all of these wells that were shut down. I mean, there's got to be unbelievable amount of oil set in the ground where every well is.
Weather aids fight in Big Sur.
Yeah, that's an old headline, folks, because it's basically like there's 28 fires out of the 1,000 plus that are totally out of control, and Big Sur is in one of them.
Well, see, this is what happens. See, usually when we deal with the headlines, we're dealing with
coming from the internet.
Yeah, this is what happens when you deal with it off the newspaper.
It's not quite as new.
It's fresh. Okay.
Actually, in a lot of cases, yesterday's news.
Well, except we pulled in a few. Some of it's still relevant, or a lot of it. Wall Street staves off the bear for now. The quarter ends with the Dow down 19.9% from last.
And the bear is there.
Ooh.
They're down 20% now.
IndyMac denies it is near failure. Depositors have been pulling money from the thrift. Its share price falls to 62 cents.
Yeah. The shares fall. That's bad. Shares going up, good. Shares going down, bad.
Oh, here's a good one. This one's his star tarnished. Mozilla exit stage. He led Countrywide on a dizzying ride from industry supremacy to subprime calamity.
Yeah, I know. He's he basically never had a star. He created something. Actually, you could call it the Enron of the real estate industry is the best way to describe it. It was based upon, giving people that couldn't afford loans, but then hitting them with money. They knew they couldn't afford it when they raised the interest on it. They knew it.
From our blogs, is Gates the ticket? Some hope the tech titan will run with McCain.
Well, the problem is Gates is basically, he gives to the Republicans, he gives to the Democrats. Whomever he feels is going to do it the best, that's who he gives the most money to. And at the moment, he's heavy into Obama. But today, McCain picked up $40 million worth of advertising.
He did?
That's right.
From
the
where?
National Rifle Association putting $40 million into the campaign to keep Obama out because Obama is a strict gun control person no matter what Obama's telling people at the moment.
Self-destructive. Hancock.
Yeah, they said that the reviews on Hancock are basically, it's not family friendly. And Will Smith is known for basically making it. I mean, he might make a movie that has a better language in it, but he's Mr. Super. I mean, this is a guy that Walt Disney would have loved in his stable because that's his movies.
A Monty Bumbleism from the Mark Twain of the Animal Kingdom.
Just because a person looks like he's family friendly, that may just be an act.
Really?